The Sandman writer Neil Gaiman denies sexually assaulting 2 women. Well, of course you're gonna. Here's a timeline of the allegations. So this is from July 4th of this year, 2024. I'm a comic book fan from like the 1970s up to like the early 2000s. And if you're a fan of comics, even kind of periphery, you really know who Neil Gaiman is. Everyone knows about Sandman comics, and he did this really great work on Swamp Thing. He's written at both Marvel and DC. He's done independent, of course, Dark Horse, and he was just kind of this kind of go-to guy as a writer when it comes to comic books, because I think somebody nicknamed him like the William Shakespeare of comic books. So why aren't we hearing about these allegations? Because typically, I know we're past Me Too and all that, but typically when allegations pop up, especially against someone so well known, you tend to hear about it. But we're not hearing about these. It's been kind of, I know it just broke, but it's not making the rounds on like YouTube and Rumble and even Twitter, or X as it's now known. So I was kind of curious about that. And let's get into it. So this is from Iman Jacobs, and again from Business Insider. The 2 women have accused the Sandman writer Neil Gaiman of sexual assault. The allegations are detailed in a new podcast from Tortoise Media. The alleged offenses took place in 2005 and 2022. Here's a timeline of the accusations. That's interesting. 2005, before he was married to Amanda Palmer. In 2022, after Amanda Palmer and him divorced. 2 women have accused the Sandman writer Neil Gaiman of sexual assault. Gaiman rose to fame. We just talked about that. All three, we just talked about that. Tortoise Media's podcast, Master, the allegations against Neil Gaiman, which was released on July 3rd, features claims from 2 women who say he sexually assaulted them in 2005 and in 2022. The first victim, identified only as Kay because she wished to remain anonymous, said she started a relationship with Neil Gaiman in 2005 when she was 20. And I guess that's what he looked like around 2005. And I guess everybody has their type. The 4th episode of the podcast explains that Kay met Gaiman at a Florida book signing in 2003 when she was 18, and they started their relationship 2 years later. Kay told Tortoise Media that she had rough and painful sex with Gaiman that she neither wanted nor enjoyed. And they said that's kind of questionable. I'm not saying she's lying. They were in a relationship. They conversed for 2 years, and now she's saying it was rough and painful sex that she neither wanted nor enjoyed. She probably wanted the sex. She probably just didn't want the rough part of it. And if so, that is sexual assault. She also claimed Gaiman had sex with her while she had an infection, despite her asking him not to. Well, then that's just rape. I mean, that's beyond sexual assault. It's just fucking rape. February 2022, Gaiman starts a relationship with a woman in New Zealand. The 2nd and 3rd episodes of the podcast are about Scarlet, a 23-year-old nanny who claims that she started a sexual relationship with Gaiman at his New Zealand home in February 2022, only a few hours after they met. On that day, Scarlet alleged that Gaiman assaulted her in a bath, but they went on to have a consensual relationship. What? No. That just sounds like bullshit. You say whatever you want to in the comments, trauma, whatever bullshit. That's garbage. Scarlet told Tortoise Media that Gaiman engaged in rough and degrading penetrative sexual acts with her. She also described how the pain was celestial. Okay, during one incident. But he refused to stop when she asked, and do I have the meaning of that word wrong? Celestial? Okay, I wanted to make sure that there wasn't something I was missing, because she says the pain was celestial. And celestial, as soon as I read it, I thought, oh, like heavenly or divine, something like that. So I was like, well, maybe there's a medical term of celestial or whatever I'm missing, because you can't know everything. It turns out, no. So she described that the pain was heavenly during one incident, but he refused to stop when she asked. Does she know what the word means? I don't know. He laughed and said I needed to be punished and used his belt on me, Scarlet claimed. July 2024, Gaiman denies the accusations and says both incidents were consensual. Okay? Well, in his mind, they probably were. If because there's this whole thing now about no means no. But you ask any guy who's made out with a girl before and you're trying to get to second base to third base to the home run. Girls, and you even see girls on YouTube now complaining that guys, one, don't take the hint, that guys don't try hard enough, that, these women will say, no, don't do that. Well, shit, a guy stops now. A guy fucking stops because of this, because of being accused of sexual assault. Because if you don't stop, then she can say, oh, in a whole completely different sense, you're now taking intimacy and nuance and everything out of it. And now she can go to the cops and say, I told him to stop, he didn't stop. And when they go to the guy, it's like, did she stop? It's like, yeah, but I didn't think she meant it. Boom, sounds horrible. But every guy, and most of you women, every guy who's ever been with a girl has been in that situation where you're making out, you're making moves, and especially younger girls. Like, older women don't give a shit. They get to the point. They don't care. But younger women, you're going into your late teens, early 20s, they tend to still play that because there's this whole dilemma of them not wanting to be seen as a whore or a slut or anything, which that's how it used to be. Now they've kind of embraced being a complete whore, which is, God bless you if that's who you want to be. So he probably thinks it was consensual. Like I said, it doesn't justify anything. It's just he probably thinks in his mind it was consensual. Anyway, it continued. He believes Kay's allegations are motivated by her regret over their relationship and that Scarlet was suffering from a condition associated with false memories at the time of her relationship with him, a claim which is not supported by her medical records or medical history. Gaiman told Tortoise Media that during the alleged 2022 incident involving Scarlet, they only quote-unquote cuddled and quote-unquote made out in the bath and that he had established consent for this. His position is that over the 3-week sexual relationship that followed, they only ever engaged in consensual digital penetration. Representatives for Neil Gaiman did not immediately respond to Business Insider's request for comment. So that's the end of the article. That's a goofy thing. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Neil Gaiman, the guy. I love his writings. I've seen his spoken word, but he is slowly more and more morphed into like a really, he's always been left, and when you're young, you tend to be left, and I still have left leanings, but my left stops at the woke wall, and he's more gone that way. And anyway, thanks for listening. That's it. See you in the next one.